almost 60 to 70% matches we can set.
You say fix, yeah?
Fix.
The investigative report, titled Cricket's Match Fixers, exposes widespread corruption within the game.
He says we should bet on the score being below the bookies' figures. And again, the last over of the session will be a low score, Amanda.
Former international players and officials are seen involved in match fixing and betting on outcomes they could predict. What's more, the reporting implicates some members of the sport's governing body.
What about the anti-corruption guys in the cricket board?
Actually, if you have money, you will do anything.
Rather than deny the report, the International Cricket Council has taken aim at Al Jazeera. It's criticized the news organization for not handing over all the evidence before broadcasting. Al Jazeera has hit back that the ICC's response shows a failure to understand investigative journalism. David Harrison is the journalist who worked on the exposé. We've reached him in London. So, David, let's begin with the ICC's reaction. What is it they allege Al Jazeera, you, I guess, should have done other than report what you did?
Well, their argument is that we should have handed over all the material, which, as we said in our statement, does show remarkable ignorance of the way the media works. I mean, no broadcasting outfit in the world would consider handing over material, particularly the kind of explosive material that we have, before broadcast. The reason is simple. If there are any criminal proceedings that arise as a result, and that happened before broadcast, the program wouldn't be able to be aired. So it was an absurd sort of request, really. Now, I spoke to one of the investigators who said to me, well, we need to get hold of this material because we found that, if we could get these people, get their phones, then that would really help us. And this is to ignore another basic of investigative journalism. We have to send out right-to-reply letters in plenty of time to allow the people we're making the allegations against to respond to those allegations. So the idea that these people would still have their phones and would not have destroyed or attempted to destroy all traces of their activities is, again, naive and slightly absurd. So by asking for all of our stuff just before we broadcast, in arguing that it would give them a chance to get hold of people's phones and stuff, is simply a non-starter.
It also sounds like a fairly open play to avoid accountability.
Well, there are lots of people who are saying that. I mean, the ICC has a very poor record of investigations. They set up this tiny anti-corruption unit. I mean, if you imagine the International Cricket Council is this big, and its main job is to promote cricket, particularly the World Cup, a very lucrative event. Now, the last thing they want is this tarnish. So they set up next to that small little anti-corruption unit full of, well-intentioned and experienced former policemen who, are doing what they can. But they haven't got the resources to investigate corruption in cricket properly, and certainly not the resources to tackle the criminality behind it, because they have no powers of arrest.
So we've talked about the ICC's reaction to this, but I'm curious about what it took to get this story to air. I mean, you talk about the cricket organization at large. The cricket community at large isn't necessarily going to want to have this kind of stain on something they enjoy, something they love. How difficult was it to tell this story?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right there. I mean, people who love cricket, and it's popular. In the countries where it's popular, it's an obsession. In no more so than in India, which is the hub of the match fixing. Although the crimes, the match fixing, extend to pretty much every cricket playing country in the world. But yes, so you are dealing with people, a lot of people who don't want to hear this kind of thing, a lot of people who have a massive vested interest in it not being broadcast. I'm talking now, frankly, about people who make their lives from cricket, and that includes some writers who are virtually industry writers, and you can see their reaction, dismissal, all of that. The cricket industry itself, players, pundits, the officials, it's not surprising that they close ranks. I was warned about this at the very beginning by people within the industry and by very, very respected cricket writers, that this would happen. There would be huge resistance. So I think we stand or fall by our evidence and by our facts, and we think we've uncovered things. Well, we know we've uncovered things that have shocked people, and many people within the cricket world are saying to us, we're really onto something here. We've done a great job. This is explosive, and that's evidenced by the fact that it's gone around the world and huge headlines all over the world.
proving the statement one more time for journalists: follow the money. David, thanks for talking to us.
Yes, thank you very much.